70%. Okay, just let that sink in for a second. That is 7 out of 10 people. According to the renowned financial expert David Bach, 7 out of 10 people in the US are currently living paycheck to paycheck. Think about that. If you're driving down your street, literally, 7 out of the 10 houses you pass have folks inside who are just living paycheck to paycheck. So look, if you're feeling constant financial stress, or maybe you're struggling with credit card debt, or honestly just trying to make ends meet, you need to hear this loud and clear. You are not alone. You are actually in the vast majority, and your stress, it's completely valid.
Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are unpacking the Mel Robbins Expert Insights Masterclass on money. Now you know Mel. She has this amazing knack for cutting right through the noise to find what actually works. And here, she's brought together the wisdom of 4 world-renowned financial experts to create a highly actionable playbook. We're skipping all that complex, confusing math and getting straight to the core behaviors that actually create financial freedom. So if you want to go from financial anxiety to proactive wealth building, starting exactly where you are right now with whatever you currently have, well, you're in the right place. Let's get into it.
But hey, before we dive into the rules, we really need to understand the environment we're dealing with here. David Bach calls this the automatic economy. Your phone sitting right next to you is basically a massive money magnet. In this automatic economy, you have to make a proactive choice. Is all this technology automatically draining your accounts? You know, through forgotten subscriptions, sneaky app upgrades, or those seamless 2 a.m. online purchases you barely even remember making? Or is it automatically building your wealth through automated investments? Here's the deal. If you don't have a specific plan for your money, you better believe someone else has a plan to take it from you. We have to flip the script from having your wealth stolen to having it built.
So here is our visual syllabus for today. We're going over 4 clear wealth rules. Rule 1 is the yes budget. Rule 2 is the 4 buckets. Rule 3 is automating your wealth. And Rule 4 is defining your enough. Let's step right into the first rule.
Rule 1. The yes budget. To actually fix our financial reality, financial educator Tiffany Aliche, who you probably know as the Budgetista, says we first have to take a hard look at where our money is actually going. Like, are you struggling because you don't earn enough, or is it because you just spend too much? To figure that out, we have to confront a word that makes, well, pretty much all of us cringe: the budget. But Tiffany brilliantly reframes this dreaded word. She argues that budget isn't a tool for punishment and restriction. Most people avoid budgets because they feel like handcuffs, right? But she says a budget is actually kind of like a good mom. A mom's job isn't just to arbitrarily say no to everything. She's there to help you say yes safely. A budget is a say yes plan. It shows you exactly how to safely maintain the things you actually want without totally wrecking your future. So it's not about deprivation at all. It's about intentional permission.
Rule 2. The 4 buckets.
Okay, so once you have your say yes budget, how do you avoid that awful decision fatigue? Personal finance expert Ramit Sethi has a great way to cut right through the overwhelm of figuring out exactly where every single dollar should go. Good news, you do not need to track 50 different spending categories. No way. You just need to look at this ideal expense breakdown. Notice that massive slice on the left. Your fixed costs should only take up about 50 to 60% of your take-home pay. This is your crucial anchor. Honestly, if your fixed costs are creeping up to 70 or 80%, that is exactly where your day-to-day financial panic is coming from. By structuring your money this way, you take all the stressful guesswork right out of your monthly planning.
So here are the 4 specific buckets Remit wants you to use. Bucket 1 is fixed costs. That's your rent, utilities, minimum debt payments, and groceries. Bucket 2 is savings, so your emergency fund and cash for short-term goals in the next 1 to 5 years. Bucket 3 is investments, which is your long-term wealth building like a 401k or an IRA. And bucket 4, oh, this one is absolutely crucial, guilt-free spending. Yes, guilt-free. It's the 20 to 35% of your money set aside to actually enjoy your life. If you want to buy those random glass containers you saw online, or, I don't know, take a weekend trip to the zoo, it comes right out of this bucket. You absolutely must include guilt-free spending so you can actually enjoy your life without all that heavy financial shame.
Rule 3. Automate your wealth.
To really understand how to grow wealth, David Bach asks a pretty terrifying question. What actually happens when you ignore your small, everyday purchases? Because back in that automatic economy we talked about earlier, it is incredibly easy to just tap your phone and spend $5 on a coffee or $10 on a quick lunch. It feels completely harmless in the moment, right? But we really have to look at the profound and honestly often negative impact of those tiny, unmonitored decisions over a lifetime. And listen, this rule applies even if you feel like you are starting completely from zero or if you're in your 50s and feel like you've fallen way behind. Just take a look at this startling insight from a massive 26,000-person study on regret. The researchers highlighted this specific case of a 40-year-old man from Tennessee. The guy had a great career, made really good money, but he had absolutely zero savings and was living paycheck to paycheck. Why? Because he ate out 5 times a week for 10 years. Now, treating your friends to dinner once in a while is wonderful, but the unmonitored accumulation of that daily habit literally eroded the financial foundation of his entire life. It just goes to show how small, invisible expenses compound so negatively over time.
But here is the really empowering part. You can flip that exact same math in your favor to build your wealth automatically. First, David Bach says you absolutely have to pay yourself first. In a perfect world, you'd automatically take the equivalent of your first hour of daily income and invest it straight into a retirement account. Now, if that feels like too much right now, no worries. Just start small, like $5, $10, or $20 a day. Remember that phone that was draining your wallet at 2 a.m.? Thanks to modern apps, you can actually use it to literally invest your spare change. By automating these small amounts, you harness what Einstein called the 8th wonder of the world, compound interest. Consistently doing this, day in and day out, will safely and automatically compound into some serious wealth over time.
And finally, Rule 4. Define your enough.
Look, you can have the perfect budget, perfectly optimized buckets, and a flawlessly automated savings plan. But simply earning more money will never, ever fix your underlying problems if your financial mindset isn't right in the first place. The financial thinker Morgan Housel captures this perfectly. He says, when money becomes a scoreboard, you can never win. Wow, most of us don't even realize we're doing it, but we turn our finances into a scoreboard to measure our self-worth against everybody else. But if you're constantly comparing your wealth, your car, or your lifestyle to the people around you, you're playing a rigged game. There will literally always be someone with more. If you play the scoreboard game, you just end up endlessly moving the goalpost, trapping yourself in this totally exhausting cycle of dissatisfaction. So I'm going to leave you with this final, really provocative question. What is your enough? Seriously, take a moment right now to reflect on your true values. Maybe your enough is just having the bills paid on time this month without feeling that familiar panic. Or maybe it's knowing you have $1,000 stashed away for emergencies. You have to define what a happy, content life looks like for you right now, starting with exactly what you have. Because here's the secret. Once you define your enough, money stops being a measure of your worth and finally becomes what it was always supposed to be, a tool that gives you options. The whole point of Mel Robbins bringing these experts together wasn't just to hand you some math equations, it was to give you your life back. So use these 4 rules, take that first step today, and take back control.